Welcome to Catalyst Unlocked. I'm your host, Lindsay Cobble. I work at the crossroads of healthcare, technology, and AI, building partnerships, creating strategies, and solving problems that move industries forward. This show is where I sit with the innovators and leaders shaping their future, and together we'll unlock insights driving tomorrow. Today, I'm honored to be joined by Sakthi, a serial innovator and founder behind FABC, D5 Art, Goldex AI, and incredible ventures in genetic health innovation like Wise Health. His work spans blockchain, AI, sports, and healthcare. He's creating ecosystems that bridge industries and unlock human potential, from career passports that redefine hiring to AI-driven talent platforms in football. Sakthi is shaping the future in powerful ways. So, Sakthi, before we dive into your ventures, I'd love to start with your journey. What experiences shaped you into becoming an innovator across so many fields?
That's quite interesting for a person who observes the world around. You catch up different trends shaping. From early, I was very early entrepreneur. I was 19 when I picked my first real estate trend. Everybody was looking at buying a house or buying a piece of land as the ultimate goal, right? Like good education, get your first two-wheeler or a vehicle, then get married, then settle down and build a house. So that's a fifth in the Maslow's hierarchy. So I was saying by the time the land price increases, house price increases, what if the person buys 10 years before in a higher purchase? So that my first exploration, looking at the market very closely, was my inspiration. Before this, of my 19 years, very young age in the school, more an anthropological mindset of looking in a school where it's one of the premium school in our town. The top bankers and the business bureaucrats' son studies, daughters study. Also, since it's a school which has got a lot of social mind bend, people from lower strata also study in that school. So we are the same uniform. I found we are all very different from the way we think, way we process from the life experience of us.
Of course.
So that observing human was the primary inspiration for me to start my first business to be on when I am 19-year-old. Then picked up, I have to work in a larger company, pick up some of the financial angle. So then I picked up a master's in finance and control. So when you come at a later stage, okay, you've seen till a public listed exit and a very professional career, then you want to do completely disruptive. From 97, I saw technology completely disrupting. Between 97 to 2000, there was a year Y2K problem. It went up and then it went down. Then there was a dot-com boom. There was a huge dot-com rise, and then it slowed down. E-commerce boom went down. Then there is a huge remote infrastructure like banks, other hardwares or servers getting outsourced to low-cost arbitrage countries.
I see.
Then BPO, businesses, processes itself was outsourced. That's a boom. Then data science boom. Then internet boom happened, which is a mobile boom. Then now the latest is artificial intelligence, where the value for data boom. So if you look at this trend, a different trend was always in a very silent way happening in one part of the world, then slowly world embrace. So my observation of this trend at different part of the career in technology, not in isolation to human. I always look at the way humans are responding to the technology.
Well said. So would you say that it's correct that early on you used your mind in a very analytical way to detect very specific patterns, and that led you to keep noticing these patterns and put you on this path that you're ultimately on today? That's amazing. So, okay, my second question for you. You spent nearly 2 decades in IT leadership, right?
Yes.
Okay. Before moving into entrepreneurship, you're even calling yourself an influencer of people and culture, right? So my question for you is, what was the moment for you that really pushed you into building something of your own?
Yes. So whatever you work for, even you work for the largest of company, a public listed company, whatever you assume it is yours, like you're handling 13 plus countries, 3,500 people, part of your largest size team. The moment you move out of one of your project, what you have built for 10 years is no more yours. The team, what you believe you have given a career, shaped their career, no more when they change their reporting structure, everything changes. In corporate structure, it's all processes and human emotions are connected to the hierarchies. So then I felt, okay, what if I have to create something for me, which should be bigger than me? So in a corporate or an enterprise, there is always the titles and powers and positions are linked to.
Always.
So, but in your idea, which is backed by the people whom you are shaping towards your idea grows more than you. It lives longer as a legacy. So I felt till my 50 years of my journey in life, I have built businesses for somebody else and given career to many people. So that means from the 50 to the other length of days which I'm going to be here till in a visible form. So there I wanted to create something where my idea stands strong, where it touches human life and transforms people. So where it grows beyond me and it stays beyond me. So that is what the inspiration. Before my 50, I was rushing to build something of mine.
If I had to give the definition of leadership to someone, absolutely it would be you, because you are quite literally paving the way forward for these individuals. You create the idea, you build the system with them, you work closely with them until they're able to continue it on their own. And then you set off to the next and to the next, right? Yes. So you also have a company, you're a founder of FABC, correct?
Yes, exactly.
FABC is all about preparing people and their skills for tomorrow, right?
Yes, FABC is all about people, skill, and the future.
It's also blockchain, it's also AI and Web3, right?
Yeah, technology-wise, it's called semantic web, which is a combination of AI in the value for data layer, distributed data, which is blockchain. Front end is AR, VR, and gaming, which is the user interface. You put all these three called Web 3.0, or we call semantic web. So we are a native semantic web technology company.
How would you define semantic web?
The internet, which is very intelligent by its own. And it's a next-gen internet from the way social media has contributed to its intelligence.
Okay, wonderful. Can you share with me and with us the vision behind FABC and why you believe a global consortium is beneficial right now?
So the internet too gave us social media way of our identity creation, right? We have multiple identities created. Facebook, I'm a very family-oriented person. Insta, I'm a creative, talent-oriented person. And LinkedIn, I'm a professional person, right? Or in my personal apps, which is your Telegram or WhatsApp, you have different group. You have created too many identities based on the group you have shaped yourself. But what it happens in all these, the data doesn't belong to you. If one platform decides to remove you, you are nobody. What you have created for 10 years, you thought this is the place I'm going to store my data, store my identity of my social profile is nobody. They can move you off if you make one big error in any of the social media platform.
You're right.
So where does your identity happen in a social way? So I wanted to create an identity protocol which stays on a decentralized way, and it also has the sovereign power of you owning the entirety of it. So I wanted to put that in blockchain so that there is a sovereignty and there is a distributed entity component. So that's the primary focus. So what data I have to load on it? I can load every data.
Anything.
Any data, your education, employability, your cultural data, or your career data, your fundraising data, your idea, everything you can load it to the deepest. I want to go till your genetic data. So that means that's the originality of who you are, and that's where you could bring your innate intelligence connected to your life experience. So we have stacked all this in the data. And you can monetize it in the way you wanted to monetize because the private key is with you always.
And it's a fully comprehensive system. Is it secure? Some people might wonder, okay, you're putting this on a decentralized network. how secure is it?
So it is highly secure since we all come from the cybersecurity. In my last exit stage, I was working on enormous 3 years fully on cybersecurity. So obviously security is a major concern in the social profile what you're creating. So that's one way blockchain gives you by default a good security by itself being in decentralized way. But I have to create a lot of awareness for the people who are handling their data. So I have to bring them from a Web 2 world to Web 3 world. So I have to create awareness. So we created a separate curriculum for it, which is a 7 hours program for people migrating from Web 2 to Web 3 world, how to handle a wallet, what is exchange, what is crypto, or what is your own identity. So we have a program which can help them to migrate and have the data security, password protection. And by underneath also, we have a very good security layer, third-party audited, to give the proof of identity safe and secure.
Thank you. You answered my question. That's phenomenal. Not only have you secured it on the back end because of your extensive experience in cybersecurity, but you also provide the front end support for all of the users so they can understand how exactly to use it. They can understand how their information is protected. And ultimately, this gives them a really sound experience, and it increases the trust in your platform as well. So it's not only social media profiles, it's not only WhatsApp groups, it's also their lifelong skills and their education too, correct?
Precisely. So this track and tracing of their life experience of the past, which they have acquired a certain knowledge or skills, also the future, where we call that as a projection of your career pathway. So if you look at a learning management system, recruitment management system, there are enormous competition. For career management system, there is only very few like LinkedIn. And again, they are also centralized career management system.
Right.
And again, they are becoming a networking site
Absolutely.
more. So people want to solicit business than actually it is your data storage place. So we want to create a career management system where you start your job, career, and inner calling. All the directions or the dimensions you can add. And since AI is learning along with you, it can act like a career GPT for you. Also, it can act as a recruit GPT for a person who's trying to look at this profile. So 2 ways our data learning system starts operating. So one is the career GPT. Anything which I ask about my career trajectory, it will tell you my pathway based on my innate intelligence. It can extract deeper to the level of from your genetic data if you allow, or only at the psychometric data. Or you may want to ask certain question, how this new trend is happening and can I be qualified? It will tell you how much you are qualified and how much you need to upskill. The same upskilling is also embedded in our platform.
Wow. See, that's what I really love about what you're building here actually, is not only are you creating a comprehensive and verifiable platform for people and their skills and their experiences, because let's be honest, anyone can go on LinkedIn and say, I did this, and hey, friend, can you verify me? You know what I mean? But you're bringing in genetics to it as well. You're also showing them a trackable roadmap of all of their past experiences and telling them this is the path that you're on. You're also offering support in a way where they can say, hey, I'm interested in this. How close is my skill set related to this job or role or, et cetera? And you're offering in upskilling support as well, which I love. My next question for you is, how do you see education and skills and everything that we've been talking about developing over the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, so two things. One is the content side of education has changed a lot. To give an example, the way the content of what was populated from a centralized agency like government or teachers or as boards which are creating content versus YouTube kind of social media creating a content and dispersing the knowledge, right? That has changed a lot in the last 10 years, the way I look at from my school days, uni days, and the way my daughter's school days and she got into her university. I saw there is a huge difference in the content side.
Absolutely.
Content is, typically there is one university where you pay a premium and learn a content with the proper social circle. Or you go to YouTubes of the social media world and you learn completely free from the topmost expert who's speaking to you from another community. So content-wise, it has changed, but at the human level, it didn't change the way somebody want to consume my content. It didn't change. Somebody decides what I need to train that person or exchange. That person consumes that way, in the form of reading, or in the form of answering, or in the form of watching, listening, or doing.
Right.
So this is same. So what I felt is each of our, by knowing a little bit of neuroscience, as my bachelor's is a biology by itself. So I understand each of us, between the first 5 rank holders in a class and the last 5 rank holders, it's not about their ability to handle the subject, but on the content side, but the way they consume the content. So this person's brain is very different from this set of people brain, whom they call dumb. So what we wanted to create a mechanism is, I start with A. Let's say I'm a person who's very strong in observing something, memorizing something. I start in one pattern. Or the other person, no, I cannot observe. My brain switches off, right? I want to do something to learn.
More physical versus
physical
visual.
Of doing an activity.
Right.
Or somebody who wanted to be questioning something to learn. I want to know the past of it, present of it, future of it. So we wanted to combine these different methodology in the same platform.
Okay.
I can go to A, B, C, and D, which is what every model does. Here, a person can choose D and then come to B and come to A and also go to C. So I can switch different way of consuming the content, with the first thing I wanted to change in learning. So that according to my brain orientation, my attention, because more and more attention, since you asked about how education is changing, right?
Right.
Attention span is coming down drastically due to social media influence. To get an attention of a person, I need to not only change the content, but I need to change the way I consume the content.
3 seconds. 2 to 3 seconds is like the time we have in this day and age to get someone's attention and to keep it. And what I love here at Catalyst Unlocked is that we get to speak to leaders just like you, who are in real time helping to unlock the minds and the capabilities of our future generations and our future leaders, because you just said it amazingly. Everyone learns differently, and to be able to have those options, because someone's key might not be someone else's. It might not fit in their door that they need to open, right? So well done. Well done. Is this related at all to D5 art?
Yes, precisely. That's what we wanted to create. D is a decentralized art. Also, it talks about dimension. Phi is five dimension. Or now 3 dimensions have reached in the Web 3.2. We also assume there are 2 more dimensions it will reveal thanks to AI. More AI, humans were going outside of them, automated every processes, which AI is going to take it further. So what the natural pathway for a human is going inside. How deep they can go inside to unearth who they are. What is their innate intelligence? That is where we go up to the level of your genetic codes and how your blood biomarkers talk about today's condition. So we would go to that level. That's a D5. An art is everybody's life experience is individual to them. And that's why we want to consider that as an art and put that in a passport we call skill passport. So I can register everything in the skill passport. The skill passport becomes an NFT by itself. So I create a skill exchange on top of it when I add the Recruit GPT. That means people can come and buy this skill passport. So then the skill passport value, intrinsic value goes up. When people wanted to unlock, they pay, click per view. So more and more people will want to validate themselves on the platform. And 22,000 people have now been the users on the platform. 30 universities have signed a MOU, and 30 organization signed MSA, Master Service Agreement, to hire through this platform.
Over 22,000 users already, and fastly growing, if I'm correct.
Yeah, we fastly means step by step. The first phase, we locked it. Now the second phase is the app phase, what we are getting in. That is going to be very fast than the first phase. Though the 22,000 itself is a big number for the pilot and the MVP, what we did.
Hands down, absolutely. I remember speaking to you a while back, and even for me, it took some time for me to grasp this concept. And to any of the listeners, they might have really enjoyed that explanation that you just gave, because what it is you were telling me at first, the first step is you need to educate. You need to create the awareness and give the people the knowledge to know that this is something that can be beneficial to them. And you've done exactly that. D5 art is fascinating. So what you just mentioned was the concept of career passports. D5 art is a blockchain-powered career management system,
Precisely.
so to speak. Amazing. So given that D5 art is this career management system, if we're looking at traditional HR with recruitment and hiring, what problems is D5 art solving?
So the DeFi art one, it solves the identity crisis of who that person is. The data problem. First is who the person is. The person doesn't know who they are. That's a challenge, right? I always been taken by the life experience. I study in the school not because I chose, because my dad or mom are close to that place. So I picked that school. Or I born in the country, so I got it. It got nothing to do with my preference in many ways. So many of your identity are shaped by, not by your choices, right? It all based on the environmental alignment, or we call life experiences. So first step is we wanted to make sure you are aware of who you are and where your ideas are coming, where your thoughts are emerging, what you can do and what you are doing. So we get to know, the person gets to know enormously about them, which generally no recruitment platform offers. They see you as some data set, which they're trying to sell it to somebody. So here it is like I work on a humanistic way, and the embedding layer is a scientific way of looking at how deep I can go to a person to unearth themselves and explain to them like a mirror. So that's the first step what we do. You know about yourself at a psychometric level. Psychometric is we ask question and make you to understand who you are.
So you're taking into account not just where did I go to school, what did I do, but also my genetic profile. And you have a massive database of all the genetic codes that you link to specific traits and to what might be my strength and my weakness. But my question is, what I'm wondering is, do you give the hiring managers and the companies access to see that career passport, that section of the genetic result?
Yeah, so we split the identity of the person into two parts, right? Ours is like, since genetic data is primarily given to me as an individual who's building my career, not for the recruiter to choose how good I am. So the intention of looking at the genetic insights or our own algorithm to guide you through is for your purpose, not to make somebody look at their data and choose whether you're good or bad. So I split your human identity and your skill identity into two parts. Your human identity, which includes your biological data, all that is your private. You decide what need to be revealed and not to be revealed. So what we show to the employers or like even your credit rating company or anybody is your skill. So we are the skill first organization. We pick a person on the basis of skill. So it is one of an unbiased skill exchange. It will have only a numerical number of Linchya or Sakthi. It doesn't even tell you it is a men or women or from a person from US or from a person from India or from in India from a metro or a person from rural India. So because the moment I get to know the sound of the name and color of the person, and many bias starts happening to choose or reject a person. So I first remove that. For a recruiter's point of view, I skill first. I look at skill passport based on the skill. Okay, now I pay and buy. So we would be one among the green recruitment company who look at humans on the basis of skills, not on the basis of the background of where they come from and what they sound.
An unbiased recruitment company. You heard it here, folks.
Yes.
It's actually really smart because whether or not we like to admit it or whether these companies like to admit it, there are biases. As soon as, like you said, you hear someone's voice or you see what gender they are or you see their age. So by removing these factors, you're really leveling the playing field on a global perspective, which is phenomenal. So my next question for you is, how have students and universities and recruiters responded to this so far?
All right. So we are very selective in the population, what we pick up. We want to select, since we are dealing with real human, real career, real assessments and real jobs, right? So it's very expensive to do such research because you're doing it on a real human data set, the way they behave. So if I have to test somebody, I have to take really somebody to test them for 6 months. I have to give them job or I have to give them training for 6 months. All that are like a real expense for us to load and do expensive training. So what we picked up from selective 25 colleges where we assigned MOU, out of it, the one college is the one who gave us a 2-year research. So it's a 2 long years to study a person coming from pre-final years to the final years. I picked them up from the very early age of third year till 4th year. I study them, how they progress, how they get ready with the different technology trend changing. So I keep upskilling them. I give them practical orientation. I form them as a community and build their expertise to get an unbiased job anywhere in the world. So this fascinated some of the colleges to refer more colleges to join. So we initially started with the top-end colleges, now go to the tier 2 colleges. Now we're moving to school level, to the level, to that stage that they wanted to be updated about a trend which is coming in or already came in. So they are studying something which is outdated. So what we did, they embraced in whichever country, whether it is India or Sri Lanka, next we tried, then UAE, then we went to US to do a pilot, then we did in Canada, Mexico, then now Saudi Arabia. So now if you look at the geography in which the Gen Z is looking at us is in a much more fashionable company, a fashionable way of creating not a dummy CV, which is looking at me in my matrix, but a very live CV, which gives me my own artistic independence of who I am to express. So that has really been embraced by Gen Z. The recruitment companies take time because the moment I'm touching, they're very fundamental of telling, hey, don't look at the data of that person. Look at them as a human and then start interacting as a skill. So it takes time for an education to be given, but still 25 plus companies are master service agreement with us.
Absolutely. That is really interesting. So you're working at the university level directly with the students in their last 2 years of their degree. They are reporting to you maybe projects they're working on, internships, assessments, skills. All of this, I imagine, is going into their passport, their portal, their database, right? Are you getting those results and reports from the students or from the school faculty?
So the why we chose directly from we picked 2 spectrum, right? A spectrum in this end is directly from college. So the background check is very easy for me, right? A college provides the basic data for us. So their basic data is a pre-validated data coming from the university.
Okay.
So that we load it. And then they start updating or uploading the further detail, which gets third party verified. On top of it, now we put AI validation on top of it. That's called HI, human and artificial combined validation and verification on you. So the validation is on your skill, verification is for your documents. That's done by third party agencies. They do about your education certificate, your joining data or your living data are all verified by third party. So your entire document side is a verified document and the skill is a validated through AI.
And then you have the recruiter side where they want to see a more human-based approach on the personality, on the individual. And they're saying that education takes time. So are they having trouble accepting this like very strict skill-based and data collection passport that you have put together? How do you bring the human persona and personality and still add that into the
So today it is from the angle of data from the sovereign identity point. So it is still a little bit of to the level what we want, still it is a boring template of they securing the data and the identity, but they know what is coming out is a immersive identity, which is in the AR VR. It's a metaverse of them. You come inside your CV, or we call our passport. It shows you a all dimension of you. It's a 3-dimensional interpretation. So that is what they are all waiting. These people who have built the template with us on DeFi passport, They're waiting for the next version to come through, where if somebody has to come and look at your profile, they see who you are in multi-dimension.
That is something that I can't wait to talk more about, probably on another time, because I agree with you. That's 100% the future. Let's step into next, something really exciting that you've been working on, especially in this region. We've got millions of fans, and it's for the sport of football. I'm American, so we call it soccer, but
We call football.
yeah. So actually, this is Goldex AI. This platform is combining sports and genetics, which it's not something that I've ever seen before, but after hearing about it and speaking about what you're doing here, I'm very interested, and I know that our viewers will be too. Goldex is bridging AI, genetics, and sports, which sounds almost futuristic. Can you explain what Goldex AI is and where you're at currently in the region?
So for as a sports enthusiast, we find all your superheroes, right, are all coming from this sport. It's the most popular sport and the most competitive sport. Billions come in the training angle, but very few hundreds on the top playing at the FIFA World Cup. So that's the difficult nature of getting on the top of this particular value chain. And this sport has evolved itself in such a way that a lot of scientific elements have come in the way coaches look at a player for recruitment, or we call that a scouting, recruitment, or transfer, which are all data points on how many moves, how many scores. But to go deeper is where we need a little more intelligence. So to do a precise coaching, a goalkeeper running 3 kilometers versus a forward running 3 kilometers, where a midfielder running 3 kilometers during practice doesn't make sense. A midfielder runs the maximum on a field. He needs 5 miles of practice every day. Wherein a goalkeeper is not the one who's going to run at all. So he needs a very upper body strengthening. And so all of them in the field are very different in the way they need to be coached. So we wanted to take the data and try to go much deeper, right? At the biology level, we go up to the genetics and find out what this person is predisposed of a skill which suits them the best to become a goalkeeper, or the forward, or the midfielder, the way their upper body is looking and the lower body is looking.
Absolutely. You're taking AI and genomics and putting it into the massive game of football, which is going to and can have a massive impact on the players and the clubs. So when you're using AI in this way, how do you foresee that you're already, and in the future here as well, how is it impacting the coaching, the recruiting, the training of these players?
Okay, so we work on the precision coaching begins this way. So we create a player passport. The player passport is an NFT, and player owns that identity. If club buys it, the NFT moves to the club. And the fans can also do a crowdfunding. So the club gets additional way of getting more value out of a player. And when it gets transferred, so automatically the value gets transferred to the player and the club and the future buying equation. And the data visibility is quite enormous, either for the coach level, club level, or on the future global purchase level of this person, right? Visibility. There is no transparency is the big challenge in sports. To highly influential people can push whom they wanted to push quickly, swiftly, with the kind of influence. So, but the talent, if you see the guys who made on the top, have not been the influenced people. They all come from nowhere with a different struggle, because one, they are built that way, or they are building that way to passionately chase it. So we wanted to work on a precision coaching right from the genetic insights. And then we work on the food, supplement, and the exercises, which are so precise for my place, what I'm going to play in the football, soccer field. And then the third, these data, what am I going to do with that? The clubs can use it for scouting, recruitment, or transfer. Fans can get this transfer and data to invest on the player and get an ROI.
It's precision coaching down at what are they eating, how are we training with them, how are we looking at their biometric data, right? But what actually I really like about this is that from a previous system, the fans, they're just watching, they're just viewing. But you've created a platform and an ecosystem where you're taking the player and supporting the player's journey, but you're also making it an NFT, which can also support the club, which the fans can also trade on and crowdfund. The fans are no longer just watching, but you're giving them a play in the field as well.
Precisely. They grow along with the value of the NFT of a player, and all the other data precision player, like the ground related data, player related data are all taken through IoT sensors and others by various other platforms. So we can easily connect that to our platform and add the value in the player passport.
And you're doing this right now?
Yes, we have finished the pilot with one of a leading football club. So it's no more an idea. It's live now. And we finished that. 11 players are already on our platform, minted their skill passport.
So next I want to talk to you about Wise Health. So what I admire about the way you are running all of these businesses as the leader that you are is that they are connected in some way or another. They're all connected,
Yes.
Just like in this world, everything is connected, right? So with the players, you're using genomics. With the career passports and those individuals, you're using the genomics. But you're also involved with Wise Health, right? Can you talk to me a little bit about Wise Health, what it is and what you're doing with that, and how you see personalized medicine shaping our future?
So you got it right. So the genetic data, or we call the genomic sequencing, you can use it just to know your ancestry to the lowest level, to know just a fancy way of looking at it, right? Or you can go one step above to know what I have to eat and what I should not eat. That's the next level. Or you go one more level up and say, hey, what I can prevent, which is called preventive health. I can prevent certain areas, so my longevity is better. So that's the third level. Or the fourth level is, no, I wanted this to be an actionable data. Can I link it to? Can I convert this data or the insights of this data for health and wealth? For health in terms of a preventive health in nature, and a wealth in terms of skill. So I wanted to look at this in this way. Then I partnered with the genomic sequencing company or a lab who would do the report sequencing. But how do you apply it? That's where the real utility starts flowing in. So that's why we call Wise Health. The Wise Health is how do you look at health as a hardware and wealth as a software. You keep changing the version according to different age. So that's how we kept it. Health is very essential. Let's say you're a 20-year-old. I took a spectrum of two extreme, right? Somebody coming out of college or like at the university.
Okay.
He has enormous health in abundance, but wealth he is still not earned his first $1.
There's an imbalance.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you take a person 50 years reaching the CXO layer or reaching at the leadership layer. For him, wealth is moving at the phase of growth. But health is actually at the depreciation, right? It's falling off.
That's right.
The better his health, longer his health, he makes more money or he makes more better career for people around him or her. So that means the longevity of his health is also the longevity of wealth. So I picked up the spectrum in two ends. So one end for somebody who's beginning his career with no wealth, is $0 wealth person. And another person who's reached the top of wealth chain, but very bad in the health because he has really consumed his health apparatus or overused his health apparatus in the means of making money. So what Wise Health does, in here it is operated in the name of Beyond Horizon Health.
Okay.
So where we take genetic test, it's just a buccal swab, and the buccal swab gets genomic sequenced, and that is AI interprets the data. And we have 70 different panels to look into it, starting from a very simple beauty and fitness, or to the complex of corporate health, how you wanted to make wealth out of it, or a sports health for a football player. So as you said, all three of my businesses are connected. This provides the genetic insights, feed to my football or feed to my skill platform.
Very well said. In a nutshell, you're bridging the gap. With Wise Health, you're bridging the gap between the imbalance of someone young who hasn't reached their full career but has their health. And then also you're still serving the other end of the spectrum with someone who doesn't have so much of their prime health, but they've reached their career and they have that wealth. So if whether it's the young or the old, they can still have that personalized report to support them in whatever way they need from a genetic perspective, which is phenomenal. You shared how all of these tie in together, but I want to know, how do you balance innovating across all of these industries, all of these multiple platforms, from sports to healthcare to beauty? How do you do it?
So on the top, it may look different vertical, right? But at the bottom, it is only two core elements. As a person coming from a very anthropological way of looking at it, all involves human. So I'm very humanistic. That's what I'm a very people-centric person in anything which I innovate. Second is scientific. I want anything to be very scientific in terms of temperament, whether it is a modern science or ancient science. I would like to go deeper into that. I try to get the best people to collaborate, partner with them, and get the research going on in. So scientific temperament and the humanistic element to be bundled, it's common for all my business. It talks about education, skill, talks about fitness or well-being. All that are very human-centric. So end of the day, that's what I was attempting to work upon, whether it is my DeFi art or whether it is my Goldex.ai or it is Wise Health or Beyond Horizon. All are focusing on the very essence of human, the way they look at their journey of career, whether at the job level or whether at the career level or inner calling level. All that health plays a very vital role, and health comes in little advanced knowledge. You can prevent certain diseases which are life-threatening.
Oh, that's wonderful. Health, wealth, and relationship. Relationship to self, inward, but also in an exterior form. That's amazing. If you zoom out, looking at human potential and technology, what do you think in the next decade is going to be one of the biggest shifts that we'll see?
Yeah. So humans are always looking at what are we downloading every time, right? We are downloading of a future. Always. Humans are always downloading the future from the experience of the past. The past is how past it is, something it's debatable, or it is science says to some level. Genetics says it is to much more level, or spirituality says it is much more other multiverse level, right? So it depends on the way you look at your past and your future. So spirituality talks about a future which is eternal in nature. Mm-hmm. Science stops at the time your heart stops beating. So we are primarily downloading our future today as we speak, right? We are downloading the future based on our experience of our past. So I would try to look at when AI kind of disruption happen around the world, where many of our processes starts getting automated. Many of the energy expenditure what humans were spending were able to be taken care by machines or algorithms. Then what will we do? So we will have to do something very interesting and something very intrinsic to who we are. So that is what is the greatest future which is going to come. That's the first time humans will really tap into who they are. Not what factory asked them to prepare for a front-end job or a back-end job or a HR job or a sales job. That's what we were all prepared with our education, and we are all chasing a career all the time. If you take the hunter era, we were doing multiple jobs. We get up in the morning. We were livestock managers.
Right. We had to.
And then we take it and trade it. So we are a trader, businessman. Then we go to farm. We are a farmer. Then we sell that, or we get our earning. We are a laborer or an employee. Then I come back, buy something. I have to skin the goat, or I am a butcher. I'm a carpenter. Now, where did all the skill go? It didn't go anywhere. It's all sitting in my genes. Okay.
That's right.
What happened to all the skill? It didn't. Factory era told, no, factory is in the center. Machines are the center. Humans revolve around it as a processee. So I am a banker, right? I retire as a banker counting money, but I'm a great mathematician.
Yes.
I'm a trader, but I never moved my seat except counting my dollars.
Because the spot had to be filled. Yeah. But what you're saying is that we're looking at a phenomenal era of optimizing human potential.
Yes. Knowledge era has happened. It liberated us by giving a connection through internet, right?
Yes.
It erased many boundaries. The internet citizens are bigger than many country citizens by numbers. whether they have a different culture, the way they think, the way they take up a subject is very different. So this collective organism we are now is going to be further challenged by AI. AI is going to automate many of our repetitive jobs. So humans will evolve collectively into something much more original to who they are, not to what factory asks us to become. So it's a knowledge era. First time we are going to tap into our cranium and then tap into our 50 trillion cell and ask, hey, who am I? So when machines took us outside, the next phase of revolution, knowledge era, will take us more inside. We go deep and find out what I am and where do I need to start for my journey. So that's where genetic plays a very important role to be a starting point.
I always enjoy every single conversation I have with you. You are supporting the collective awakening, the way that you just framed it. Incredible. We passed the knowledge era. We are taking in external information from all sources. Though, Web 2 opened up to us.com, all of these sources of information. But now you say we're turning inwards. We're looking at ourselves as individual beings. We have technology and AI that's clearing the way for us to really see what's able to come from within us. And I think that's amazing. I'm happy with that. So I want to end this in a really fun way. Sakthi, this has been such a powerful conversation. At the end of every episode, I ask my guests to leave us with one unlocked insight, maybe a mindset, maybe it's a principle or a tool that has guided you, that you believe can help others on their journey. What would yours be?
Okay. So everyone, if you take the greatest personalities or the greatest achievers, right, you can always relate to a materialistic dimension, also a principle dimension. Everybody stood for some principle. That's why it doesn't get outdated. If you take the oldest of science, which is called religion, are like very old but still relevant today. People are still queuing in some worship place. It should have been outdated 1,000 years back. It should have been outdated at least yesterday. But it's still outdated. It's not getting outdated even today, right? Why? Because it's still guiding you through some principles which are very essential for your evolution. Evolution of what? You wanted to live long. How long? Everlasting. That's why many of the old ancient literacy or the science tool is giving you, okay, you can live long. How long? Everlasting. Either multiple generation or everlasting in some place which is very unknown and amazing for you. So these are all certain principles which you embed or buy from these people. So I always wanted to associate with me for one principle which people identifies me with, which I should not waver from that. It can be very simple principle that this person never comes late. Throughout my life, I should stick the moment I am associated with that principle, right? You become an epitome of that particular principle. And take one principle at a time where you mastered it and you become the best in it. And people identify you. You don't need to go and sell, I am good in this. People will know for this principle, he is the person whom we have to look up to. So if principles are the eternal concepts, so I would always, from a very young age, that is what I would like to look at. The principle I wanted to be associated with many aspects when I was young. Then I found like I couldn't fulfill even 10% of what I wanted to adapt.
Absolutely.
So then I want to pick up what is very close to my principle. I'm very good in looking at people. I'm very good in solving their problem. I'm very good in listening and attending to them. Can I convert that into a principle of mine? So that means it take not 1 year. It take 10 years for me to even master 10% of it.
Yeah.
So try to be a master in a principle which is so original to you. And you don't need to sell that. Actually, world will find you.
Thank you so much for joining us and sharing so much valuable information today.
Bless you.
I really enjoyed this last
Thank you so much, Lindsay.
You.
Thanks for having me here. Have a great time.
Thank you.
Cheers.
And thank you to everyone listening. This was Catalyst Unlocked, where today's conversation opened tomorrow's doors. I'm Lindsay, and I'll see you next week.